In this tutorial, we will take a look at how we can effectively rearrange values and build something like an auto levels in Mari. Mari doesn't really have an auto levels because its architecture is built around evaluating things like pixel by pixel, without those pixels knowing anything about their neighbors. However, for an auto level to work, you always need access to flattened image data. And because that is not the case, Mari's levels node, for example, also does not have a histogram, while the levels filter you can access in the filters menu does have one. The levels filter runs on a single paint layer or node, so flattened data, which is why the filter is able to generate that histogram. I have a material here and I'm using some displacement. Looking at the displacement output, we can see most of it is black because it is actually largely comprised of negative values. We can test this theory if we just open the color picker, make sure it is in scalar and raw pixel mode, and pick one of those black pixels. And there we go, we see the negative value. I want to rearrange this displacement to a 0 to 1 range with a nice midpoint of 0.5. I would do this usually with a setRange node, which is just like a lightweight levels node. So here in the old min and old max, I can specify how those original old values should be shifted to the new values. But I have no idea what the original smallest and highest values are. To find those, I will use an extension pack node called value warning. Let me hook up my displacement here and view the node. The node will display a visual warning on its main output port if input values are above or below the range set here in the upper bound and lower bound sliders. So let's move those sliders and find values where there's just about no warning colors visible. Something like this. And we could use the arrow up and down keys in those value fields to really fine tune the value down to a decimal. But for now, let's just stick with those slider values. I want to use those values I found in my setRange node as the original value range. Instead of manually copying them, I can just use the two outputs from the value warning node called bound low and high and plug those straight into the old min and old max of my setRange node. And if I view that node now, we see our values are successfully rearranged to the 0 to 1 range I have set in the new min and new max fields of the setRange node.